It's a wintry morning and Dee closes her door. Another new week at work, and it is Christmas in 3 days. She will wrap the gifts of her colleagues this afternoon. She enters the big gray building, her workplace for nearly 15 years as a forensic social worker. On ground floor she decides to be brave and walks 6 floors to her office. She always takes the lift, but on a Monday she chooses the stairs as a 10 minutes fitness. Out of breath she reaches the 6th floor and grasping for fresh air. "Good morning, Captain D," loud shouts from the lift. Dee waves with her left hand as a sign of greeting Sergeant Lou, too out of breath to speak. She walks down the 6-meter passage, what seems like the long walk to freedom, reaching her office where she opens the door. She notices a little white broken shell on the floor as she placed her briefcase on the desk. She hangs her gray Melton jacket at the back of her door. Then she sees what looks like an eggshell. Oh no! I hope it is not a dead bird. How on earth did an eggshell landed in my office? She picks up the eggshells, only to hear a soft chirping from the back office. She walks to the office door and opens it softly. A little white box wrapped in colorful red and pink paper with a white ribbon. The box had no lid, she notices. Inside is a little gray bird with big brown eyes staring at her. She picks up a small white envelope and opens it. "We at the unit wishes you a Merry Christmas. We know how much you misses your sister with her sudden and tragic passing, and felt the need to give you this little one as a companion. We hope she will brings you so much joy and laughter as you gives to us and everyone around you." She picks the bird from the box and holds it gently in her right hand. A birdie? What do I do with it? What does it eats? Where will she sleeps? All the questions pops up in her mind as she walks to her drawer, hoping to find an answer in there. She puts the bird back in the little box and starts to cut paper in thin strips as a way of warming the birdie. She opens her internet and starts to Google what she can feed the bird. She nearly vomited as she sees the sentence "worms breadcrumbs is good, yes." She reads through an article on how to understand and nurture a bird. She grabs her bag and takes out her lunch. She noticed chicken and salad and starts separating the chicken into little strips to feed the bird. She places Birdie on the soft brown carpet and sits next to Birdie. "We should give you a name, of course. I like Blinky. Shall I call you Blinky?" She slowly reaches the tiny beak with her lips and jumped up as Blinky grabs the piece of chicken from her mouth. Dee burst out laughing and realizes that Blinky is hungry and chicken is indeed her favorite food. She fills a small saucer with water and keeps it at her beak, and surprisingly Blinky gathers a few drops and keeps her head backwards, throwing the water down her throat. She takes another piece of the chicken and closes her eyes almost immediately. Dee got up and placed the leftover chicken in the fridge. She washes her hands and starts to do her daily tasks. While sitting at her desk she decides to overnight Blinky in her back office until she is comfortable to travel to a new home. Days passed and Blinky is aware of the surroundings. She easily climbs from her box and sits on the corner of the desk where Dee is busy working. She spreads her tiny wings and chirps, walking from one corner to the other. Dee paused for a while and stares at Blinky. She really is growing fast. Dee studies more insight about birds and soon she understands the routine of a young bird. Weeks passes and Blinky is now a handsome young bird with gray and red feathers. She is trying to fly, but it seems she still needs a lot of practice. During the days as Dee leaves her office, Blinky will jump from the desk and follows her just about everywhere in the building, and soon her commander and colleagues falls online with Blinky. "Come on Blinky, you can walk faster now." Dee puts Blinky on her shoulder and walks patiently down the stretched passage. Blinky chirping in an adult manner now. 3 months later Blinky is ready to fly and Dee takes her to an empty office while opening the windows on the 6th floor. "Blinky, you know I am your mommy since you were born. What you must know is that I am human and you are a beautiful bird who should fly freely with your buddy family high in the skies. Today mommy wants you to spread your wings and fly." Blinky looks at Dee and chirps at Dee with her wings widely spread. "It is okay Blinky. I will always be here if you wants to come pop in." Blinky chirps loud into her ear and Dee opens her right arm, placing it on the window frame. Blinky walks slowly to the end of her arm and opens her wings, Then she flies to a big tree just outside the window. She sits next to a bird and chirps along with it. Dee walks back to her office knowing that Blinky is now where she belongs. Months later, as Dee is busy checking her emails, she notices a bird sitting on her office balcony and rushes her tired legs to the window. A loud chirp and a very huge gray bird staring at Dee. "Blinky! You came back." Soon another bird arrived, and then 3 tiny little birds. Blinky found herself a family. And so the day ended for Dee, while Blinky and her family chirping the day away. The end.